Good evening, everybody. It is Saturday night here in New York City. We are going to be walking all the way uptown to Radio City Music Hall tonight. Down to Penn Station. So I hope everybody's having a good night. We will get started in just 1 minute. Hey, Bowser's here, says hi, Tom. Good evening, Bowser. Good to have you here. Always a pleasure. Maya's here, the ABX girl. Lydia Dante Rose. What's up, everybody? So I'm actually downtown near NYU tonight. Hey, Michael F says good evening. William Creech, hey, good to see you. Always good to see you, William Creech. And I see Vinny Castellano is here. We have Melee in the chat. William Creech, Melee, Vinny Castellano, Michael F, Dante Rose, Lydia, Maya, the ABX girl, Ken Kramer, and Bowser. What is up, everybody? Sally says hi, Tom. I fell asleep again, didn't know you entered your stream. No problem, Sally. Always good to see you. So everybody, we are near the Cooper Union School in the East Village, very close to St. Mark's Place, but we're going to be walking uptown tonight. And it's an extremely, extremely cold night in New York City. Very cold, very windy. Hey, I see Felix. Felix is here, says hi. What's up, Tom? What's up, Felix? Yen10 says hello, Tom, and everybody. Fascinating says hello, everybody. Good to see you again, Fascinating. I saw you yesterday. CB Earth Day 2070 says hello, Tom. Exploration says good evening. Ice is here, says hi, Tom. GJ says, hey, Tom, hope you're bundled up out there tonight. We are. Indeed, we are. No hat on, but I'm not a big hat guy. I don't usually wear hats. Lydia says, what's your astrological sign? I'm actually not sure. I don't even know how I would find that out. Joey is here, says, good evening, Tom. And the one and only Ruby Falcone says, good evening, Tom, and everybody. What's up, Ruby? Good to have you here again. Bowser says, how is New York City? New York City is pretty good. It's pretty good tonight. I did a lot of reading today. I just kind of took the day off to relax. Not doing too much, but it was a good day. It was a good day. Don't have the skateboard tonight, though, so that is a little bit of a bummer, but it was just too cold and windy to skateboard around today. Hey, Buy the Book says, what's up, Tom and all? What is up, Buy the Book? Good to see you. And I see Rosie here. It says, saludos, Rosie. Saludos. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Rosie. Lydia says, your astro sign goes by your birthday. Well, I was born in May, so if that helps. My birth month was May, and then the year is 1995, so I'm not sure if that helps you out. Hey, Penelope's here. Penelope is joining us from Tennessee. What's up, Penelope? Says, hi, Tom. I think you're a Gemini. Question mark. Alex says, hello, Tom. Good evening. What's up, Alex? Bowser. Hey, I see Soho Guy here. Good to see you, Soho. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Soho Guy, did you spend your Thanksgiving in the city in Soho, or did you spend it somewhere else? I know you had told us you bought a place in Soho. Maya says, my birthday is May 14th. Mine is the 25th, so I'm always usually right around Memorial Day. Big fan of my weekend. Big fan of my birthday. Mark says, are you a coffee guy? Looks like warm drink would be good. Yeah, I'm a big coffee guy. Big coffee guy. What about you? I see Hassan. What's up, Hassan? Maya says, I'm a Taurus because it's May 14th. Interesting. Very cool. Okay, Soho Guy says, I went to my parents in Massachusetts. I didn't know that, Soho. Well, I hope you had a good time. Are you back in New York now? Are you still in Massachusetts? Penelope says, you need to reconsider wearing hats. You need to keep warm. I know. So Penelope, I've never been a big hat guy. I just never really wore hats. I don't know why. But it's not that I'm not a big fan of them. It's just that I never really wore them. So everybody, this is Astor Place with the famous cube right here. Lydia says, May 25th is a Gemini. Hassan says, hey. Hey, Gerald Lee's here. Says, hi, Tom. Thanks for the live streaming tonight. No problem, Gerald Lee. Always good to see you. Hope you're well. We're here at 4th Avenue and Cooper Street, East 8th Street. near NYU, near New York's University. Wow, look at Soho. Look at you, man. Staying at the Four Seasons in Boston. Very cool. You know what I want to walk past everybody real quick? We'll do a quick lap around the Christmas trees over here. This is always my favorite thing when they set this up in the city. So right after Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving holiday, all of the farmers, I guess you could call them farmers, right? The Christmas tree guys, they always come here and put up all of the Christmas trees for sale. And it always smells really good, so we'll take a quick walk around. Yeah, buy the book says you need heated gloves. That is true. Hey, Otto says, hi, Tom. Greetings from Vancouver, British Columbia. What's up, Otto? Long time no see. I hope you're well. Trust you're well, my friend. Edson says, hi, Tom. How's it going, bro? What's up, Edson? Everything's going well. I pretty much took the day off today. I just was reading a good book. This new book I got called Forward. So maybe I'll make a stream topic about that a little bit later. But it's a pretty decent book. I didn't think I was actually going to like it as much as I do. RJ says, hola from Colorado, Tom. Hope you're well. And you have long johns on tonight. Jeez. RJ, good to see you. So here's some of the Christmas trees and I guess the wreaths that you could buy here. Very cool. Hey, Vinny Castellano says, we have a daughter born the day after your birthday. You see, I think, not to be biased, but I think my birthday, right around May 25th, is probably the best time to have a birthday. It's the beginning of summer, late Memorial Day. You know, you can't ask for much. Maya says, oh, those freshly cut trees smell nice. They do. They really do. Penelope says, 70s, my parents would never let me go outside without a hat. Very interesting. I see Mario here says, salute us. What's up, Mario? Well, thanks for bearing with me, guys, here. I just wanted to do a quick pass on the trees here. This is always my favorite, looking at these every year. Pretty cool. Hey, I see Alan Wilson says, we're walking early tonight. Maybe it's so we can see the sunset. Hey, Alan, so I think now the sunset is right around, I think, 5:30. Is that right, everybody? So I don't think we're going to be able to see the sunset. It's pitch black in the city. Hey, Jeremy777 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Jeremy. I do appreciate it. Jeremy says, is there a huge light display somewhere? Yes. So, Jeremy, we are going to be walking uptown towards Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center, and Fifth Avenue, right around St. Patrick's Cathedral. We'll check out all the lights. So I appreciate you being here. But right now, we're actually very far away from that. We're at Cooper Street, near Astor Place in NYU's New York University. But I think we could probably make it up there in about 20 to 25 minutes. So thank you for the support, Jeremy777. I hope you had a great weekend so far. So this is actually going to be a Wegmans in this abandoned location right here, if you guys see. So Wegmans Food Market, which is a very famous, very good food store. It's opening in 2023. And this place actually used to be Kmart. It actually used to be a Kmart. Hey, Shot by Scott is here. It says, Astor, what's up, Tom? What's up, Scott? Scott is joining us from the beautiful, beautiful Miami in Southern Florida. Cinduron says, good evening. How are you? Nicole says, hey, Tom and chat. What's up, Nicole? Lisa says, I noticed you really love dogs. Have you ever thought about volunteering at a shelter to walk the lonely dogs? You know what? I think that's a pretty good idea. I've never thought about that. So maybe I will. You know, I actually never even thought that was possible. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. Maybe we'll have to do that one day. Everybody, I see Marty Lewis. What's up, Marty? Says, good evening, Tom. Marty, any big plans for the weekend? Hope you had a good Saturday. We're going to be walking uptown. We're going to walk to Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center. But right now, as you guys can see, we are at the 8th Street subway station where you can get the R and the W trains. So this is where the majority of the students get off when they go to class for NYU, New York University. But I think we'll probably make good timing. We'll probably get up to Radio City, Rockefeller Center. I want to say maybe in 25 minutes, 30 minutes, we'll see, depending on the foot traffic. We don't have the skateboard tonight because it was just too cold. Hey, I see sunshine after rain. Good to see you, sunshine after rain. Always a joy to have you here. Sunshine after rain is one of our moderators. Lisa is here. What's up, Lisa? Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Shop by Scott. Marty Lewis is here. M. Rosales is good evening. How are you, M. Rosales? Starving Artist is hi, Tom. Hope you're doing well tonight from Canada. Hey, Faith is here. Says hello, Tom, everybody. What's up, Faith? Faith, it was funny. I just saw your comment right before I was about to go live. You said, hey, Tom, I hope you're going live tonight. And I was about to respond back, but I was literally pressing the live button right as you were doing that. Hey, Steve from Buffalo says Wegmans is amazing. It's loved more than Whole Foods up in Buffalo. So Steve, I hope you had a great time in New York City. So Steve's been a viewer of the channel a long time. And I believe Steve actually came down from Buffalo to hang out in the city for Thanksgiving. So I hope you had a great time. And yes, so Steve, so Wegmans is very popular in upstate New York, like the Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo, all those areas. So it's going to be interesting to see if it does well here. I would assume it will do well here in Astor Place. So definitely we'll check that out for sure when it opens in 2023. Hey, I see Jimmy Anderson says, cheers, my man. Hope your weekend is going good. What's up, Jimmy? Always a pleasure to see you. Everybody, Jimmy has a pretty interesting podcast called the Beer and Bets Podcast. If you're interested in like sports, he runs a pretty cool show over there. Hey, David Goldstein is here. Says good evening. What's up, David? Good to see you. Shop by Scott. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? Hey, I see Latha here. What's up, Latha? Latha, hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Happy Saturday. Any big plans for the weekend, Latha? David says, thank you for doing the village this weekend. No problem, David. Buy the book says, hey, sunshine. Del Hui says, hello from Australia. What's up, everybody? From the land down under. Good to have you here. We're going to make a big trek all the way uptown tonight. So I was reading this book today that I actually bought yesterday. And I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. It's called Forward by Andrew Yang. And Andrew Yang was a former presidential candidate, I believe, during the 2020 elections. He didn't gain as much traction as a lot of people thought he should have, but I think he has some really interesting ideas about how we can move the country forward in terms of job retraining and preparing our economy for major disruption in terms of artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics. So I don't agree with necessarily everything Andrew Yang has to say, but one of the reasons why he's caught my attention is because he is extremely honest about just the validity of the disruption that is coming down the pipeline here with AI and job displacement via robotics. And you never really hear any other politician talking about this. And to my point is, I think that the majority of the politicians aren't really skilled in technology, right? They're not technologists. They haven't worked in tech. And as somebody who's worked in tech my entire career, and even though I'm only 26 years old, I've worked in tech on these technologies that are disrupting industries. So I think it's quite refreshing to have somebody that is taking it seriously to say, look, there's going to be a lot of job displacement in the trucking industry, in manufacturing, and outsourcing to robotics. And it's true. So I'm liking the book so far, but I'll give you guys a bigger update as I progress further. I should be able to finish it by tomorrow. So here we are at East 10th Street. Faith says, windy night. Soho guy says, Tom, what's the point of retraining people when the Tesla bot is going to do 99% of the labor pool, says Soho guy. Darren Robinson is here. How are you, Darren? Layla says, Wall Street Scape-Bro, happy belated Thanksgiving. Hope you enjoyed the time with your fam. No plans, just relaxing. Awesome. Good to see you, Layla, as always. Asia Unscripted says, good evening. Welcome everybody from Asia. Darren Robinson, good to see you again. Faith as always. Joseph Hernandez says, have you heard what Elon Musk said about AI? Yeah, so I've watched many interviews and things like that about Elon Musk talking about artificial intelligence and machine learning. And one of the ones that was the most interesting to me is when Elon Musk was sitting down with the founder and CEO of Alibaba, Jack Ma, talking about AI. That one is probably my favorite one. Hey, Dino, New Jersey, thank you for the support. Dino, New Jersey with the $5 super chat says, hey, Tom, thanks for the great content in both cities. Good luck and happy holidays. Dino, New Jersey, I do appreciate you very much. Thank you for watching and supporting the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you, Dino. Hey, we have Letty Munoz here. What is up, Letty? Good to see you. Walt Disney says, hey, y'all. What's up, Walt Disney? Darren Robinson says, good, Tom. Stay safe, mate. I will. Mario Howell says, we are the same age, Tom. Young future millionaires, says Mario. Good to have you here, Mario. Shot by Scott says, he was the composer for West Side Story among hundreds of other classical Broadway musicals. He's like the OG of Broadway. Wow. So he passed away? Scott, when did he pass away? That's horrible. That's horrible. That's really, really terrible. Hey, I see Bobby Y here. Says, except that Jack Ma demonstrated real ignorance. Musk is a genius. Ma, not so much, says Bobby Y. Yeah, I think Bobby Y, I think that was a major takeaway for a lot of people. And a lot of people were drawn to the same conclusion as you were. To say, hey, you know, Jack Ma really came off as arrogant in that interview. And I tend to agree a little bit, but I also think that maybe there was a little bit of a cultural difference there, because Jack Ma, being from China and being under the regulatory scrutiny of the CCP, sort of, you know, could perhaps make him act in a certain way. But I definitely do agree and respect that point of view. I think it's a very interesting point of view, Bobby, that you just brought up. Username 3 says, girlfriend and I were just around there. We love your live streams. Hey, thank you for the support. I appreciate that. So user name 3 with the $5 super chat, having a good time. So please be safe, and we will see you on the next stream. I see Michelle Cunningham. Hey, Michelle. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, Michelle Cunningham. Is our good pal. Says, hello, didn't get the notification tonight. Brian Rock, Rail Fan, says, hi, Wall Street Scape-Bro, and hi, everybody. Username Schmoozername says, what do you think is the biggest misconception about AI? Well, I think the biggest misconception about AI is, well, there's two terminologies that I like to use when talking about artificial intelligence. And the first one is narrow AI, and the second one is general AI. So if you are a person who works in the AI or machine learning space, there are really two things to think about when you're thinking about artificial intelligence, and that's general AI and narrow AI. And what you read about in the mainstream media and what's really projected to us is this whole theory of general AI, which is actually quite the opposite of where all the innovation is happening. Because if you're working on general AI, it's actually probably about 20 to 30 years off, and it actually may probably never happen. So what narrow AI is taking large amounts of data, so terabytes worth of data, not just gigabytes, but terabytes worth of data, and training your algorithm by feeding so much of this data to your AI to complete a specific task, right? That is the artificial intelligence that is really starting to take off. So an example of this would be, let's just say in the medical field, you're a doctor and you're trying to diagnose a specific type of cancer. Maybe it is, for example, like a cancerous tumor or something, and you want to try to identify that as soon as possible. Well, AI can actually identify that way faster, more efficient, and with more accuracy than a human ever could. But one of the ways it's gotten to that point is by taking so much of this data, photographs, pictures, and x-rays or whatever you want to call it, of these specific tumors, and feeding them to these machines and training them relentlessly. And what happens is it's sort of like compounding interest, if you could think about it in that way. So as the AI is fed more and more data, the smarter the AI becomes. So as you have 50 to 60 years of medical information where you can train an AI to identify a cancerous tumor, that is going to displace many people who are looking at these pictures to identify if it's cancerous or not. The general form of AI, when you talk about general AI, is what you see in the movies, right? Where an AI will be able to, have humor and be charismatic and funny and really act human-like. And that's really not possible. That's more science fiction. Where artificial intelligence will really excel is repetitive tasks that require massive amounts of data to then train the algorithm to do it more efficiently with more accuracy than an average human. So that's sort of where I see the main misconceptions in artificial intelligence, is that you're going to have these robots flying around being able to do everything a human can, but in reality, narrow AI is where the most innovation is happening. Hey, Daniel G says AI learning. What's going on, Daniel G? Yeah, and if anybody wants to learn about this more conclusively, I think the best resource to go to is Dr. Kai-Fu Lee. And Dr. Kai-Fu Lee was the former president of Google China, and now he runs Sinovation Ventures, which is a venture capital firm that only invests into startup AI and machine learning companies in mainland China. And I believe he has 2 books out. His first book is called AI Superpowers by Dr. Kai-Fu Lee, and the second book that actually just came out in September is called AI 2041. Hey, I see Manny Explores here. Says hello, everybody. What's up, Manny Explores? Lady Coach Explores says greetings from the Philippines. Soho Guy says no way, Tom. I bet in 10 years we'll have Tesla bot comedians. Hilarious. Tanya says 21 days till my trip to New York City. Still counting. What is going on, Tanya? I'm looking forward to that. Lisa says Frontline did an incredible documentary on AI. Well, please put it in the chat. I would like to check that out, Lisa. Starvin Artist says technology has no heart, no compassion. Yeah, it's pretty much just input-output, right? It's a simple equation. Information Man Show says Wall Street Scaperow, peace and respect. Thank you, Information Man Show. British Gray, what is going on? Says, do you think that the United States will default on December 15th? I do not think so. I do not. The Mighty Bull says, greetings, Tom, and members of the chat. What is going on? The Mighty Bull. Daniel G says, to be intelligent, it has to learn. Somehow the non-human device has to develop a way to learn, says Daniel G. Laytha says, it's good to know that no robot will take over our walks through New York City. Yeah, so I think that's the main point, is in one of the books that Dr. Kai-Fu Lee wrote, he said the main thing that humanity wants, and one of the things that will drive humanity forward, is even though AI can do mainly or the majority of the tasks that are important in our everyday lives, and actually do it with more complexity and more precision than a human can, what it can't do is it can't, you know, make you feel happy. It can't tell you jokes. It can't interact with you. And one of the chapters in his book was really interesting, where he developed a tablet for older folks, where he would put this tablet and distribute it to a lot of people that were clients of a home healthcare agency. And this tablet would be able to remind them to take their medications and do all this stuff. But the only time, or the vast majority of the elderly people that use that tablet, the only thing that they did was call the 1-800 number on the back of the tablet to find a customer service agent just to talk to them. Now, how crazy is that? So there's a big problem of elderly loneliness, and we've talked about this on the stream as well. And there's actually some startups that I'm working with to try to cure that, because when elderly people are sitting home alone all day and they don't have anybody to talk to, you know, and if that's sort of what Kai Fu Lee found out. He was like, we tried to develop a technology to keep them company, but the only thing that these old people did was call the 1-800 number on the back, the customer support line, just to have somebody to talk to. So very interesting. Hey, Techno Pink is here. What's up? Techno Pink is joining us from the beautiful place of the Dominican Republic. Frederico, how are you? Walt Disney says humanity should be phased out by AI through natural selection. Are we really necessary, says Walt Disney. Interesting take. Interesting take. Savannah says good vibes. What's up, Savannah? Soho guy says, yo Tom, with everyone having a comedian on demand, people will be healthier. Layda says, good evening to the Mighty Bull. Hope you're having a good Thanksgiving. Techno Pink says, I have an amazing trip coming up this summer. Jeremy 777 says, is there Broadway plays playing in New York? Yes, I think they're fully open now. I think everything is fully open in New York City. William Creech says, Tom, I read AI 2041 last month on your recommendation. It was very informative. Hey, William, awesome, man. Yeah, I sort of, one of the things about AI 2041 that was most appealing to me is that it's fiction and it's also nonfiction as well. So AI is this very scary concept to the mass number of people out there. So I think the way they broke down the book was giving conceptual ideas about what's possible for AI to be and making it in a sort of non-fiction and fiction way, which was kind of cool. I see Santa Monica Rodriguez here. What's up, Santa Monica Rodriguez? Always good to have you. Heather says, how's Miami? Miami is great. It's definitely a lot warmer than here. Hey, Jeremy777 with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Jeremy777. I appreciate you. He says, Tom, do you happen to know if there are Broadway plays or Les Miserables playing in New York? Yes. So from my knowledge, all the Broadway plays are back on. The only thing is, if you want to go to one of these shows, you have to present your vaccination card and I think wear your mask. I think there's an alarm on that bike. But Jeremy, thank you for support. British Grace says, Tom, I am glad that you left the skateboard at home. It's supposed to be snowing. Yeah, I was thinking about bringing it tonight, but it's way too cold here, guys. I think my face would freeze off if I was on the skateboard tonight. Username says, world's most annoying alarm. I says, have you seen the Rockettes holiday show at Radio City Music Hall? So I have. I actually went about 3 or 4 years ago. I took my mother there, and I would like to go again. I definitely would like to go again. So I'm actually planning on going to see the Radio City Music Show again. Shot by Scott says, I legit thought that alarm was in my living room. Kelber is here, says, I'm from Brazil. Good night. What's up, Kelber? Layla says, that's an old school alarm from 1995. That's the year I was born, 1995. Beyond the Matrix says, have you looked at Shiba Inu crypto? It's gone, returned over 70 million% since August 2020. I have not looked into that, but I would advise to stay away from that. I believe the majority of that's nonsense. So I would never invest my money into that, in my opinion. CB Earth Day says, I like the alarm. No one will steal my bike ever. This is a cool window. Isn't the Best Western the, isn't that an actual hotel chain, Best Western? Faith says, Tom, is there a 7th article? I received up to the 6th. Yes, so Faith, the 7th edition of the Behind the Street newsletter will be sent out by tomorrow night. So it will drop by tomorrow night, I promise. Techno Pink says, New York City is quiet tonight. Hey guys, we have Mark Davis joining us from Toronto, Canada. Says, good evening there, Tom. Hope all is well. Hello from almost snowy Toronto. Very cool, Mark. Hope you're well, Mark Davis. So the Empire State Building is actually bright blue today, or tonight, I should say. So as we walk up Broadway and East 20th Street, we're going to be able to see the Empire State Building, and the color is amazing. Soho Guy says, yo, Tom, artificial intelligence might be able to time travel to and create infinitive paradoxes. Interesting. I don't know about that, but definitely interesting. Well, I think there is speculation that it could be a possibility we are living in some sort of a simulation, quite literally. But maybe that'll be a topic for another stream. We'll go down that rabbit hole. Ryan is here. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Says, hi, Tom. What is your take on the government moving away from fossil fuel energy independence? So, Ryan, one of the things that I think about that is I do agree with the fact that we need to start, waning off fossil fuels and going towards more renewable energies. But the fact of the matter is, you can't do it all right away, right? You can't do it all right away. It's going to take years to do that. I mean, if you just do it within the next 10 years, you're going to cripple the U.S. economy. Now, if you look at it at face value, one of the cleanest forms of energy out there is nuclear power. The cleanest form of energy is nuclear power. But then again, the only thing that you run the risk of is the waste, is the nuclear waste. However, nuclear technologies are actually getting more efficient to where it produces about 90% less waste as a traditional nuclear power plant like we have in upstate New York in Oswego and things like that. Where the biggest mistake that I think is a lot of these more so liberal governors. So, for example, Gavin Newsom in California, there was under threat of rolling blackouts due to all of the fossil fuel producers being actually Rolls-Royce and General Electric big turbines, gas, diesel, disgusting, polluting turbines, and dropped them in the middle of the forest in California, but nobody knows about that, to actually help stimulate some of the power supply in California. So I think it's important to transition to more renewable energies, absolutely, 100%, but you can't do it too fast. You can't do it too fast. That's my take on it. Ryan says, I think the free market has to drive innovation. Yeah, I think you're seeing that with companies like Tesla, right? Hey, Mobility Mark says, Wall Street Skate Bro, take a ride on the back of my mobility scooter. It'll be the best live stream you ever do, says Mobility Mark. All right, we'll have to do it. Square Bet says, uranium is a good investment, says Square Bet. Layla says, energy independence takes a significant investment of resources, and nuclear waste certainly is not clean. So we can't overlook that, says Layla. What's up, Kelber? Hey, Joyce Carter is here. Welcome, Joyce. Always good to see you in the chat. Joyce Carter says, volunteer at a shelter this holiday season. Joyce, maybe we'll do that. Jeremy777 says, Tom, is FAO Schwartz still in New York? Yes, it is, but it moved from 5th Avenue, and it's actually near Rockefeller Center. I think it's at 30 Rock right now. Valentina says, hi, Tom, hope you're well. What's up, Valentina? The one and only Manny Explorer says, I love when the Empire State Building is blue. It does look amazing tonight. Username says, our electric grid can barely handle the current load much less tens of millions of e-cars. Yeah, I think our electric grid is quite antiquated. Dino, New Jersey. What's up, Dino, New Jersey? So 70% of France is electricity is produced by nuclear power. They are still heavily invested in it. I'm a big proponent of nuclear power. I think it's the most clean form of energy we have. And so this is what we saw last year in Texas. That was a big problem, is when it got freezing cold in Texas, all of the wind turbines froze over, and the energy output was essentially cut in half. So, you know, I don't think there's any one great way to go about it, but what I do believe is that I'm very optimistic. I'm an optimistic person. I believe that this is the greatest country on earth, where all of the world's innovators are coming here to innovate things. So we're gonna figure it out. I'm confident of that. Username says they can make low-yield nuclear power that is much safer than the big power plants in the 70s. That is a good point. Ryan says, I was just thinking about Texas. Also a good point. I says, hypothetical question. Will you settle to California if it's only an hour flight and low taxes? Says I. Maybe. But I think the main two places where I want to be is New York City and Miami. Manny explores, so true. Manny says it ain't a New York stream if there's no sound of the sirens on the stream. Beyond the Matrix says the pandemic is creating the path for virtual reality, and investing in the metaverse, in my opinion, is something to look into. Yeah, Beyond the Matrix, we actually have been talking about that quite a bit on the stream, and I believe we dedicated an entire stream last week to talking about that. Hey, I see Thiago. What's up, Thiago? Juliana says hi from Brazil. Tatiana says good evening. You are doing a great job from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Welcome everybody from Sao Paulo. Yeah, I mean, here's the one thing I'll say about the energy independence thing in the United States. It seems like the media is using it as a way to polarize and get everybody to be so upset about each other or at each other. But when you really look behind the hood, all the world's greatest entrepreneurs are working on the problem, and the problem's going to be solved. So the keyboard warriors at Fox News and CNN, these people are just trying to be divisive and disgusting. And these people actually have no talent. You know, they're just journalists doing nothing. But the people that are the real engineers that are working on the issues every day, they're quietly at work, twiddling away, while the media, the propaganda machine, is getting everybody to fight with each other. So that's the only thing I'll say. I wouldn't worry about it. And this is the greatest country on earth, and we will figure it out. That's my opinion. Hey, Mario's here. What's up, Mario? Layla says Fox is really divisive, but there are even worse offenders. Yeah, I mean, Fox, CNN, it's all the same. It's just about getting people riled up. But the people who actually work in the field every day, that are the engineers, they're working on the problems. They're not just screaming and yelling about it. So I'm not even worried about it, in my opinion. Hey, Jordan LeBeau says Canada's pretty good too, Tom. I love Canada. I actually really want to go back to Canada. And I'm going to do it as soon as possible. I want to go back to Toronto. I have a lot of friends in Toronto that went to the University of Waterloo that now live in Toronto. So I definitely want to get back to Canada. One of my bucket list items. Mark Davis says, how is the family there, Tom? Okay. Yeah, the family's doing good, Mark. Thank you for asking. I had a good holiday. I had a very good Thanksgiving. Jordan LeBeau says, I live in Toronto. Awesome. Very cool. Toronto's a great city. I want to go back so bad. Beyond the Matrix says it's just one industry transforming power to another, says Beyond the Matrix. Cool Ant 516 says media polarizes us for ratings. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what I've noticed, what's really disheartening, and I don't really want to get too political, but I think over the past 10 years, media on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats, the right-wing media and the left-wing media, it's been about more taking shots at each other instead of finding out solutions. I tend to be a more solutions-oriented person. I'm not interested in complaining about problems we have. Okay, let's find a solution on how to do that. And I think that's why America's been such a progressive country, is because the vast majority of people here are solutions-focused people. You know, we have people all over the world coming here. You know, we have the smartest people from all over the world coming here to fix the world's biggest problem. So I'm optimistic about it. Hey, says it's a dog and pony show. I agree. Hey, Princess Mona Lisa says, I love New York City. What's up, Princess Mona Lisa? Paulo Ricardo says hi from Brazil. What's up, Paulo? 3K says hi, Tom, from Valencia, Venezuela, with my wife, Christina, watching your super walking show. Hey, welcome everybody from Venezuela. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Marzon Worldwide says 2 parties, none of us are invited. Faith says media is BS sometimes. Soho guy says, yo Tom, US media is controlled by the Vatican. Conspiracy Sunday. Mobility Mark says, Wall Street Skate Bro, I do a live stream road raging in a mobility scooter in New York City. Check it out if you'd like. I will check it out. Cool On 516 says 100% agree. Manny Explorers, good to see you. My Stirlome says politics is a dog and pony show. I agree. Obama says America. British Grace is my favorite clock tower. Sarah G says I'm excited for someone to figure out clean energy. Air is more polluted lately. Yeah, but I mean, I think, you know, by and large, I think the United States and Canada do a great job of keeping air quality clean. This is why I have a lot of friends that live in Korea, and one of the biggest problems in Korea is the air quality. But if you look at the energy output of Korea, it's actually very, very clean energy. But the reason why there's so much smog in Korea is because the majority of output from the factories in China are powered by coal. And coal is extremely, extremely dirty, very dirty form of energy. Probably the dirtiest. So that's why I think it's important that over time, it can't only be Canada, it can't only be the United States, it can't only be places like Australia. It needs to be the entire world getting together and doing their fair share, because, you know, you could have other countries impacting other parts of the world, and that's not good. I mean, some of my buddies that live in Korea, they send me pictures during the middle of the day in Korea, and it looks like it's the middle of the night because the smog is so thick coming over from China. It's crazy. Sarah G says, oh wow, yeah, it blows there. Interesting, neighbors help each other, says Sarah G. So we're walking uptown on West 27th Street. 48 says, I agree with you, Tom. Good at energy independence. Pat Waters says, hello, Tom. Hello from Russia. Greetings, everybody from Russia. Murky says, the same China banned Bitcoin for environmentally unfriendly causes, says Murky. Murky, how are you? Cool Ant says, all we can do is set an example. We are all connected. I agree. Pablo Garzon says, hey, bro, greetings from Ecuador. Very cool. What is your take on altcoins nowadays? Well, I think the vast majority of them are scams, in my opinion. A lot of them are what you call like pump and dump type style schemes. So in my opinion, I'd probably stay away from most all of those. Dino, New Jersey says, I like Canada, but that was their opinion apparently. Daryl says, good evening from Chicago, Illinois. Hey, Tom. What's up, Daryl? Good to see you. Kelber says, in Brazil, it is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Beautiful day in Brazil. Sally is here, says, nice view. Shot by Scott says, we took a bullet train from Beijing, China, in 2016. And the entire countryside is just all huge factories with giant smokestacks just pumping. Yeah, well, I mean, China is the factory of the world. Is the world's factory, but it's unfortunate that the majority of those are powered by very, very dirty coal energy. But look, it's a work in progress. I think over time, we're going to find a solution. I think we'll be fine. That's a good observation, Scott. I mean, hopefully you have some photos of that. I would really be interested in seeing some pictures of that. That's cool. Mario says, gracias. Nico says, how are you? Sarah G says, wow, interesting. Man, it's freezing in New York City, and you are in New York City. You can be down in Miami keeping yourself nice and toasty. I know. We'll be back there on Tuesday. Probably we'll be back there on Tuesday. Talvish is here, says, hey man, how are you? What's up, Talvish? Good to see you. James Bong says, hello from Kentucky. What's up, everybody from Kentucky? Sarah G. Jetstar says, good luck getting China to help solve the problem. Yeah, I think it's a work in progress. I mean, we'll see what happens. Well, one of the things that, and one of my buddies is an investment banker, so he does a lot of work in China. And quite often he's back and forth between New York City and Beijing. And one of the things that he says is, with this new, it's like the new China. China is trying to create a new China with prosperity for all. Right, so this is why, you know, going back to stock talk for a little bit, this is why you've seen companies like Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, and the like coming under extreme regulatory scrutiny from the Chinese Communist Party. And one of the reasons for that is, if you think about here in the United States, all of these tech companies, I guess you could argue, almost have more power than the US government. And I would definitely argue that. If you think about a company like Alphabet, Google, Facebook, all the big tech companies, they house pretty much all of the world's data in the palm of their hand. They can dictate what you see. They can be divisive if they want. So what China is trying to do is trying to regulate all of these big tech companies in order to keep the power mainly centralized to the government. So it's either they have two choices. It's either these tech companies they'll probably either be broken up or they will be absorbed by the government. And I think, in my opinion, that policy is probably going to backfire on the Chinese party, because whenever you stifle innovation, usually the economy as a whole goes into a downward spiral. So you're going to see a mass exodus, I believe, from China. And I think that they'll probably even impose lockdowns for people not being able to leave the country and study other places. I think that's how bad it's going to get. But hopefully it doesn't get that bad. But if you're telling entrepreneurs that whenever they create a company of substance that's innovative and profitable and it's doing well, and you have the government come in there and say, no, you can't do that, that's a big issue. Entrepreneurs aren't going to want to put their money at risk and create companies there. And one of the best examples of that is all of these Chinese education businesses. These were some of the most profitable businesses on the street. And if you type in any of the ticker symbols of these Chinese education businesses, they've all went to zero overnight, because the government essentially came in and said, no, you can't operate as a private entity. We are going to absorb you. You can't make a profit off of education. And these companies went to zero overnight. Really crazy. Hey, Rosie says, Sarah G says, makes people scared to do good, so they'll go into fight or flight. RG is here, says hello. Shay says hello from San Francisco. We love your videos. Thank you. What's up, Shay from San Francisco? San Francisco's a great town. So, Shay, do you have any feedback on San Francisco? Because a lot of my buddies who work in Silicon Valley have actually been moving to Texas and Boston. Those are the main two places, Texas, Boston, and Miami. From San Francisco, because they said the crime is getting a little bit out of hand. So as somebody that lives in San Francisco right now, Shay, if you want to give a little bit of enlightenment to the chat, I would appreciate it. If not, no big deal. But I'm quite curious to see what it's really like there in San Francisco. Supposedly, the crime is pretty horrible. Hey, Kevin Sunderland with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you very much. It says, to that point, I'm curious as if Bitcoin could be used as a foreign policy tool to make China be a better global actor. I think that's an interesting supposition. So this is essentially, so Scott, let's explore that actually a little bit. Kevin, that's a good question. It's a good question. So China came out for like the 5th time now banning Bitcoin. And the only thing that happened is all of the mining rigs got on a plane and went overseas. So I don't think that's going to provide like an incentive, just because I don't think that the market capitalization of Bitcoin is big enough, at least not yet, to impact total nation states, right? I think that perhaps as the market capitalization and as the use case, let's say, of Bitcoin grows, potentially that could be an incentivization mechanism to nation states to attract talent. That's sort of what I'll say for that. Hey, Norm says hello from Pennsylvania. What is going on? Shay says peeps leaving for Texas and Florida, says Shay. Christine says, can you go to Times Square? I miss my favorite place. I can go back to New York before Christmas. I'm in Florida now. And miss the snow. Yeah, maybe we'll do it tonight. Maybe we'll do that tonight. But Christine, good to have you here. Sarah G says, I think high rent prices made a lot of people homeless in San Francisco, says Sarah G. Kelbers is very nice. Shay says, your friends are correct. Crime is horrible. Yes, Shay, a lot of my buddies, were working in tech at a lot of tech startups in the Valley, and they have since left to places like Boston, Miami, Florida, and Texas. All right, everybody, I'll leave this up to you guys. Should we do one lap around Koreatown, or should we head right back up to Radio City Music Hall? I'll leave that up to you guys. Hey, Jay says hello from St. Louis. What's up, Jay? Cool Ant 516 says, I don't miss the snow. It's okay to visit for a while, though. Can I go to the Oculus building? Not tonight, because that's so far away. Great Walk says, we are all melting here in Argentina. It's so hot, and a huge storm is coming. Wow. Kevin Sunderland says, Uptown. All right. Uptown we go, everybody. Uptown we go. Say no more. I'll just show you guys what Koreatown looks like. I'll show you guys downtown. But Koreatown is my favorite place in the city. So many good places to eat, so many great bakeries. Korean culture is fantastic. I love Korea. Love Koreatown. And I think probably arguably some of the best food in the city is in Koreatown, actually. I'm not sure if anybody's a big fan of like Korean barbecue. I am. I think that's some of my favorite food is Korean barbecue, because for me it's an experience. When you go to have Korean barbecue with like 20, 30 people, it's a blast. It's a really, really good time. Hey, the Cal's Info Warrior says, I'm from Phoenix. What is going on? Sabrina Fair says, the Empire State Building looks lovely tonight. What's up, Sabrina? Good to see you. Hey, Joe says Koreatown. Yes, we just passed Koreatown. Mario, how are you? Joe Hernandez, what's going on? Juliana Meg says hi. Great Walk says Uptown, just like Bruno Mars. Shay says Koreatown, please. Ryan says, is Billionaires Row Uptown? Yeah, so Billionaires Row is right there on 57th Street. You know, maybe we'll do a lap around Koreatown tonight if we have time, because I have to come back down here anyway. Hey, Terry Docker is here. What's up, Terry? Good to see you. Hi from Malaysia. Welcome to all of our viewers in Malaysia. Pedro Falcone says, hi, how are you? I am very good, Pedro. Hope you're well. Riva says, I used to live 45 minutes from San Francisco. Used to be my favorite place to visit, says Irivas. Yeah, so supposedly San Francisco, you know, I was going to take a job offer out in San Francisco right when I got out of college, but one of my good friends convinced me to stay in New York, and I'm glad I did, because supposedly San Francisco has just fallen into complete disrepair. You know, I can't say that with conclusivity because I don't live there. But just from what I'm hearing from friends who work in tech as well, they're like, we got to get out of here because it's that bad. David says San Francisco is a hellhole. Pedro says, I love Manhattan at night. It is so beautiful, says Pedro. Mario says, noted. Mario says, therefore, I should have left the welcoming of a person to the channel who only speaks Spanish to you, says Mario. Hey, Justin's Journey says, Tom, do you miss Florida? I don't really miss Florida because I'm going to be back and forth all the time. Juliana says, I like your channel so much. I'm learning English with you. Awesome. That's really cool. So I have a lot of people that email me that tell me they use my channel to learn English. And that is awesome. So if I could help in any way, that's fantastic. That's really, really cool. Ren 10 says San Francisco isn't Silicon Valley. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like the Valley area. So San Francisco has a lot of tech startups, Salesforce is there, you know. Sabrina Fair says, I live there, own the top floor of a building in the 18th of California. Great neighborhood and went downhill fast starting in 2013, and now it's way worse. Trey 30 says, hello, first time here from Australia. What's up, Trevi 30? Good to have you here from the great country of Australia. Ryan says, I've heard many people have their cars broken into 3 to 4 times a year in San Francisco. Iriva says it's the Bay Area. Yeah, I mean, the Bay Area, the Valley, anywhere big tech startups is. But San Francisco is a big tech town, let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments. Christy says, I really miss Times Square and the Brooklyn Bridge. Robert says, please ask someone that walks by if they know Brandon. I will not do that. Suffice to say, says, can we please have a special shout out of due respect to the real Karens and Brandons out there whom has that name for real. Lather says, San Francisco car break-ins are mostly rental cars, sadly. Cynthia Martinez is here. What's up, Cynthia Martinez? Good to see you. All right, let's continue our walk uptown. We're here at 34th Street. So we're gonna get to see Bryant Park, the Winter Village at Bryant Park. We'll see the Bank of China Salesforce Tower with Mark Benioff. Hey, Warren is here, says hello everyone from Croatia. Very cool. So what's some of the very interesting tourist attractions that I could see in Croatia? You know, Croatia has a good soccer team. They have a good national soccer team, actually, Croatia. And one of my favorite countries to watch in the World Cup is Croatia.
I was literally like...
Hey, Penelope says, my hubby lived in San Francisco in the 90s. Interesting time. Sabrina Fair says Croatia is a hot tourist spot. Oh, Warren says, no, I'm from Costa Rica. Sorry, Warren. I can't really see the screen when I'm walking because of the wind, and then sometimes if there's too much if there's like a car that's like a gray color. I can't really see the comments. Faiths is clear. View, loving it. Ren 10 says, Sabrina, you're correct. 2013 is exactly when things went downhill in San Francisco. Interesting. Latha says Tom's eyeballs are frozen, stuck to his eyelids. Yeah, you know what's frozen though, Latha? My hand. My hand is absolutely freezing. Ryan says, I just subscribed a few days ago, and this is the most interactive, informative, and exciting channel in New York City. Hey, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. It's a pleasure to have you here, Ryan. Ooh, that bike just fell. Not good. So, if anybody wants to know a very good Korean restaurant right around here, it's on 35th Street, and it's called Hanbat, Hanbat. It's phenomenal. Highly, highly recommend it. Hey, I see Cecilia Thomas. Cecilia, what's up? Good to see you, Cecilia. Happy Thanksgiving. Always good to see Cecilia Thomas in the chat. Always puts a smile on my face. Soho Guy says, yo Tom, I agree, your stream is the most exciting. Thank you, Soho Guy, I appreciate it. Starving Artist says, Tom, need to send you some Canadian mittens. I would love that. I would love that. So this year I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm going to Canada again. I wanna go to Toronto. Haven't been there in a long time. It's a great city and it's very close to New York, relatively speaking. Let me pull off to the side and read some comments. Jake Gans says, I'm praying for some big snow. They said good amount. I always count on big snow, says Jake Gans. Suffice to say, says great content. What's up, Suffice to say? Lock Sky says, were you able to spot any Black Friday offers at this point? Me, I was not personally, but what about anybody in the chat? Square Bets says you're... Square Bet says you're making me hungry. Gemma says hi from Ireland. Very cool. So my, I guess you could say my grandmother's family comes from County Mayo, Ireland. And then they immigrated to the United States through Ellis Island and actually owned and operated a bunch of speakeasy bars here in Times Square. So that's what my family did during Prohibition. We actually ran a lot of speakeasies here in the city, the Hannon family. And we actually bought the majority of the alcohol from the mafia. So maybe one day I'll show you guys some photos of the old bars that my family used to run and operate here. But that was back during Prohibition. And my grandmother has an amazing photo of my great-grandfather at the bar with all police officers that were off duty and a lot of original mobsters. So if you look up this guy called Jip the Blood, J-I-P the Blood, Jip the Blood, he would always come into my great-grandfather's speakeasy right over here, actually. Suffice to say, I'm glad to be living right now. It is incredible, says Suffice to say. And we're coming up on the Bank of China here to the left. Maybe we'll cross the street. We'll cross the street. Man, it is cold out here, guys. But you know what? I think I could have got away with bringing the skateboard tonight. Sally. What's up, Sally? I see you here. says, yeah, Tom, it's cold outside. So everybody, we are on West 39th Street and Avenue of the Americas, or 6th Avenue, walking northbound. And we are about to be at the Winter Village at Bryant Park. And we'll take a little walk around, and then we'll continue on our journey to the Radio City Music Hall, Rockefeller Center, on 5th Avenue. Yep, Jip's real name is Harry Horowitz. On the picture, it's signed Jip the Blood. It's very cool. Faith says, Tom, Latha wants to create a fund for you to get mittens. What do you think? You guys, I think I'm all right, but thank you guys. I appreciate that. Isabel says, hi from Montreal. Cool Aunt 516 says, cool. My great-grandparents came through Ellis Island also. We went to New Jersey. Very cool. Lock Sky says, I heard Rockefeller was fun last night. Saw some lights. Mark Davis says, Tom, you might run into Fernando in Times Square. Very cool. Maybe we will. I don't know if I want to go to Times Square. I'm not a big Times Square type guy. I don't think I'm cut out for Times Square. Warren says, I want to go to New York and take a car trip to Niagara Falls. What is the best money to do? I'm not sure. I think you could rent a car anywhere. I think Hertz or Enterprise. Juliana says, how many degrees is it in New York City? It's probably about maybe 40 degrees. Very cool. So this is the one and only One Vanderbilt Tower. Marty Lewis says, Times Square is for tourists. Shay says, this walking tour is fire. Yeah, so we usually do it on a skateboard, but I don't think I could do it tonight on the skateboard. I was like, if I do the skateboard tonight, my face is gonna rip off. And I didn't want my face to rip off on the camera. So I think we'll just walk it out today. And hopefully we don't get hit by this taxi. We'll see. All right, now we are at West 40th Street and Nikola Tesla Corner. Hey, Matthew P is here. What's up, Matthew P? Good to see you. Oh, Warren says you meant month to do it. I would do it in May because it's not too hot, it's not too cold. So if you like moderate climate, I would definitely do it in May. Maybe like late May, because early May it tends to rain a lot. So if you want to do it, I would say probably do it maybe around May 20th to May 25th. All right, everybody, this is Bryant Park's Winter Village, sponsored by Bank of America. And our good pal, Ebit Da in the chat, works at BAML, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, as an investment banking mergers and acquisition associate, I believe. So here we are, Bank of America Winter Village. Latha says yes. So maybe I will get a P.O. box, but maybe I'll just use my business address. I'm not sure. So everybody, I guess I'll plug this small business here. This Breezy Hill Orchard and Cider Mill right here in Bryant Park is the absolute best thing I've ever had in my life. So if anybody wants to support them, I have no idea who owns it, but they're right here at Bryant Park. Phenomenal. Really, really good stuff there. Hey, Starvin Artist says they have a curling rink there. Very cool. Carla and James were there today. You know, yeah, James and Carla have an adorable dog. Hudson. Hudson is the dog's name. Love that dog. So this is the Bryant Park Winter Village. Hey, I see Eddie here. Eddie, what's up, man? Eddie says Bryant Park skater cam is cool. You have to get a ride on the ice. Eddie, good to see you, my friend. Eddie, thank you for all the support. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving week and a weekend. I appreciate it. Zachary Woods says there are a couple of live cams in Bryant Park showing on YouTube. Very cool, Zachary. Yeah, I'll show you guys the ice if you want to see the ice. Cool Aunt 516 is the last time I was at Bryant Park, the fountain was frozen. I think I've seen it frozen a couple times too when I was back in my college days. Jordan LeBose is looking forward to our tennis game in January. Jordan, absolutely. I think I shot you an email back, so I'm looking forward to it as well. Roly Cannoli, what's up? Says GYP got the electric chair, died at 25. Indeed. Chip the blood. Roly Cannoli, good to see you. Kelber says I'm 13th of April, 1978. R.Y. Davis, what's up, R.Y. Davis? Says I'm frozen in Clearwater even at 53 degrees. Is it really 53 degrees in Clearwater, Florida? That's crazy. Maddie Moore Collins says it would be nice to see the Trade Center. Yeah, so maybe we'll do that tomorrow or another day, because the World Trade Center is on the absolute opposite side of the island. But the World Trade Center is beautiful in Lower Manhattan. Absolutely beautiful. So this is the Bryant Park Grill. They have a very nice outdoor setup here for the Bryant Park Grill. Hey, Penelope says, love their dog. All the critters, Tom's cat, we need to see more of. Daniel G says, Bryant Park is the place to be in New York City. Ireva says, I used to have a Staffordshire Terrier and the same markings as the dog, Hudson. Very cool. Very, very cool, Irevis. Yeah, I have a beagle and my sister has a husky dog. Very good, high energy dogs, the huskies. Extreme high energy dogs. Very, very high energy. That was my Donald Trump impersonation. High energy, big high energy. Great Walk says, Tom, go watch my first live stream in Argentina tomorrow. I'll check it out. Sabrina Ferris says, Tom, I am going to buy you a shirt that reads, sorry ladies, I don't date models. Gloria Mills says, I'm a little late, but seeing Niagara Falls in the winter is spectacular. Really cool. So we're actually right outside the Bryant Park camera. So this thing does the live streams to the Bryant Park camera. So here's the view of the Bryant Park Winter Village. Zachary Woods says that is very true about Huskies. Very independent and stubborn too. I agree, Zachary Wood. But good to see you, Zachary Wood. KB says we got our Husky / wolf dog when we lived in the Arctic. When it stormed for 3 days, she would curl up in a ball just to sleep and get covered in snow. They can be still when they need to be. KB. What's up, KB? Joyce Carter says apple cider, we are all connected. What's up, Joyce? Lisa says, new subscriber, love your walk in New York. Lisa, thank you for being here. I appreciate it and hope you're having a great holiday, Thanksgiving weekend. Early, Joyce, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Always good to see you, Joyce. Lorraine Ventus says Frank Sinatra. Leida says Hoboken is the hometown of Sinatra. The Hobokenites are very proud of that. Raleigh Springer says I'll be there in 3 days visiting from the Bahamas. Where can I get a decent winter jacket? Pretty much anywhere, honestly. I would go to, I mean, if you just want something cheap, I actually don't know. But any really clothing store, H&M, you could probably get a winter jacket. Sarah G says, what do you think is going to happen in 2022? I think a lot of stuff is going to happen in 2022. Ooh, that kid just really ate it hard. Hey, Lena Sandoval says, hi, Tom and everybody. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. No problem. Just Asking says, which skating rink is your favorite and why? I think my favorite skating rink in the city is the Rockefeller Center one because it's the most iconic. Hey, we have War Walker here, so that's a big Zamboni. What's up, War Walker? Good to see you as always. So let's take a little walk around. We'll head out. Yeah, Latha says cheap jacket in New York City. I would say H&M. I agree. So this is a good shot. This is the One Vanderbilt building. So the top of the One Vanderbilt and the Christmas tree here at Bryant Park. See Unseen says they should just put on the Kiss Double Platinum album and let it play through loud. Well, maybe they will. Mitty Moore Collins says Chicago just opened a skating rink. Lena Sandoval, welcome. New Earth Princess says adorable jackets here. Sky is nice. Gray King says Gray King says, can you say hey there to Ann and Jerry in Cork, please, mate? What's up, Ann and Jerry in Cork? What's up? Zachary Woods says, we have ice skating rink in Hawaii, indoors, of course. Two Wheel Pines, what's up, Two Wheel Pines? Says, thanks for as always, for the great stream. Two Wheel Pines, thanks as always for being here. Hey, I see Sam from Toronto, Canada. What's up, Sam? Hope you're well. Hey, the one and only Tom Jones is joining us in the chat, everybody. He says, love this channel, writing down the names of different restaurants for me and my kid when I check out when we're there this month. So Tom Jones, I got a couple really good restaurants for you. So if you're interested in Korean food, if you want a really good Korean spot, you got to go to Take 31. So Take 31. That's one of my favorite Korean spots in the city. But if you want a very good Italian spot, you got to go to Becco, B-E. Layda says, if you have a kid and visiting Manhattan, consider taking your child to Serendipity 4. It's great for the kids. Hey, so Layda, where is Serendipity? Is that on the east side of Manhattan, I believe? Miss Dash says, hello, everyone. Good evening. Tom, very nice view. Nicholas says, if you were around when the penny stock boom was happening and you were involved, how would you feel about being associated with it? Would you regret it? I don't really know how to answer that. I think that with my knowledge of investments, I would never get myself associated with that. Sunshine after rain, how are you? So here's a closer look at the ice. Two-wheel pines is if they put on some Frank Sinatra, would you get out there and skate? Maybe two-wheel pines. New Earth Princesses, who's to say those trees don't have lifelong dreams to be in Manhattan? That's true. Sabrina Fair says, love this. We have Miguel Gonzalez here. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you. Happy Unseen says, happy Saturday evening, Tom. It looks like a perfect night over there in the big bowl of Manhattan. Take care. Appreciate it. Murky says, do you have to pay to skate here or just jump in? I think you do have to pay. I'm actually not sure. I think if you bring your own skates, you don't have to pay. That lady's not having an easy time at all. Ren 10 says, Tom, who do you think is better investor, Michael Burry or Kathy Wood? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I don't think you can compare the two, right? Because one is a traditional value investor, which is more like a Graham Dodd investor. So like a Benjamin Graham investor, real deep value. And the other one is a very high growth, high PE investor. So I don't think we can really compare the two because they have very different investing styles. One is a growth stock investor and one is a traditional value investor. Ooh, she just ate it big time. That's not good. Hope she's all right. Roberto says hello. Joyce says fun, relatable stream. Thias says hello from Rio de Janeiro. Marjan says Sinatra at the Sands is amazing. You Kathy Wood before 2021. Yeah, Kathy Wood really became known in 2021 because a lot of the stocks she was investing in at the time have done very well. But she's always been a big titan on Wall Street, always. So I've been familiar with Kathy Wood for quite some time. If you go back into the Investors Business Daily archives of their podcast called Investing with IBD, Kathy Wood has been on there since 2013, so. RL says 39 degrees north of Tampa tomorrow morning. Really? Wow. You're going to have falling, what is it? The falling lizards, I think. The falling iguanas. Roberto says Nikes Parks. Gifts for golfers. I think we have a golfer that always watches the stream. Golf Endeavor is his name. Good evening from the Ozarks. Exploration Obsession. What's going on? So here is the Empire State Building in the background. It's bright blue tonight at Bryant Park. Roberto says, is it cold there? It's very cold there. Very cold. Marjan says, anybody remember Evelyn Wood? She had the speed reading course. I do not remember that. Speed reading course. I kind of like the design in here. Looks kind of cool. Hey, Timothy McGlynn says, nice. What's up, Timothy? David says, what do you need to study to become an investment titan? I don't think you need to study any one thing in particular. I mean, some of the greatest investors of all time just tend to be very creative, quite creative. I think investing takes a great deal of creativity, believe it or not. Dale says, hello, New York. What a great looking rink. Thank you for this. from Rice Lakes, Wisconsin. Have a wonderful night. Well, thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. Cool Ant 516 says, I remember Evelyn Woods, but then I'm too old. Marjan says, Tom, when you head back to Florida, you got to check out one of, I just lost your comment, the Epcot food festivals. They're awesome. I'll check it out. Chris L says, waves from Bastille AR exploration session. DM says, yes, I remember Evelyn Wood. Username says, Cheech and Chong had a routine about Evelyn Wood's speed reading course. Horatio Snipes is here, says, hey, Wall Street. David says, creativity, how? Well, you have to be creative. You got to be a creative person. Investing takes a great deal of creativity to think outside the box, because in order to make money in the investment business, you need to come up with great ideas. Idea generation is probably the number one main component in investing. You need to have good idea generation. You need to be able to forecast industry trends. Like, we talk about on this channel a lot that, for example, one of the things that I focus on the most is identifying growing industries, right? Or you can call that a total addressable market. So if you're looking at a company and you're trying to evaluate it, you want to see, okay, is this company dealing in a massive total addressable market or a massive TAM? So for example, if you're investing into cybersecurity or something like that, that's probably going to be in high demand for the foreseeable future, right? But if you take a look at something else that's a very highly commoditized industry that's actually in structural decline, well, that's probably not the best investment. So you just need to have foresight, creativity in the space to be able to see what industries are going to be growing, what industries are going to be contracting, things like that. Also, if you want to run a quantitative fund, I think it would help to have a physics background. So physics background is probably very good if you want to work at a quantitative fund. So if you think about something like a 2 Sigma, which is a quantitative hedge fund here in New York, Jump Trading, Renaissance Technologies, D.E. Shaw. Hey, Keller from Brazil, what's going on? Arlene Meta. This is Becco. 355 West 46th Street. Yes. Becco is a phenomenal place. Love that place. Marilyn Ringel says, wow, the market took a hit on Friday. I'm just going to ride with it. Media says due to new variant. Any thoughts? Yeah, so I think the most notable thing about the sell-off, and we sort of touched on this a little bit last night, but if we look at the relative extension of many of the indices over the 50-day moving average, it was quite egregious. We had about 8 to 10% extension over the 50-day moving averages for the S&P, for the NASDAQ, and the Dow Jones. So should they correct to the 50-day moving average and find support there, I think that's a normal, healthy correction. Also, something that's most important to look for is you got to look at the bond market. So a lot of people try to forecast where the stock market is going to go by looking at the stock market, but really where you should have your eyes peeled is that bond market. So one of the most notable things about Friday's action, Friday's shortened action, is that equities were selling off and the 10-year treasury yield actually came down a little bit. And that's actually a good sign. What you don't want to see is a pan equity sell-off and the bond market selling off in tandem. Because when you have an uncontrolled sell-off in the debt market or the bond market, you have an extreme spike in that 10-year yield. And that means things are not healthy. So for right now, and I'm not saying this correction can't last any longer, it's telling me that it probably will be bought up. RL is hopefully not a new variant. People don't understand. I think the whole variant thing is there's new variants of the flu every year, right? But it's just the COVID grabs headlines, so they want to talk about it and they want to rail it down your face. There's new variants of the flu every year. There's going to be a new COVID variant in perpetuity. It's not going to end. But the media just likes to scare people. That's a normal thing to have new variants of diseases like this. The Cal's Info Warrior says, I used to work for T. Rowe Price. Awesome. So I actually used to work in this building coming up here on the right, the Marsh and McLennan building. And speaking of a quantitative-based hedge fund, we had a quantitative-based hedge fund right above us. So my office was on this floor, and then we had D.E. Shaw, so David E. Shaw & Co., which is a very successful quantitative hedge fund, worked right above me, right here at 1166 Avenue of the Americas. But everybody, we have to keep the big C talk to a minimum, or the channel is going to get taken down. So I would like, I'm all about freedom of speech, but I've received emails already from YouTube that I'm not allowed to talk about the big C. Lady Coach Explorers is here. This is relaxing night. What's up, Lady Coach Explorers? Good to see you. Hope you're well. It's a freezing night out though. Hey, does anybody know what time it is? If we could do a quick time check, I apologize, but I still don't have a watch. Sunshine After Rain says, hey, how are you? Sunshine After Rain says, light on the V talk. Hilarious. Jay Trader says, cancer. Hilarious. Not that cancer is hilarious, but no, we were talking about the big C as in the COVID. We're not allowed to talk about it. Yeah, the Cal's Info Warrior. How about them Jets? Jets, Jets. Horatio Snipes, is a math major worth it? I mean, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, I think a math degree is probably better than 90% of the liberal arts degrees. I think if you're going to go to college nowadays, you really need to do a STEM major. If you're not in STEM, I think it's probably a waste of your time and your money. The Mighty Bull says it's communism. Love the Mighty Bull. All right, so we're gonna walk up 6th Avenue. We're almost at Radio City Music Hall, almost there. So please stand by. We should be there in just a moment, just a minute. But right now we are passing the News Corporation building, and News Corp owns Fox News. They own the Wall Street Journal. They also just bought Investors Business Daily from William J. O'Neill for $250 million right here at the News Corporation building. Horatio Snipes says, what jobs can I get in banking with a math degree? Pretty much anything. It depends on what you want to do. Do you want to work? What department within the investment bank do you want to work at? Do you want to go into mergers and acquisitions? Do you want to go into sales and trading? Do you want to be back office? Sort of, what do you want to do? Do you want to be in asset management? I think you just have to ask yourself what you want to do. But yes, the answer is yes.
So fast.
Somebody says don't work for JP Morgan, they're crooks. Well, I think all the major investment banks do criminal activity. I mean, I think everybody knows that. JP Morgan was actually just found guilty in manipulating the precious metals markets again. And we've been talking about that. Guys, how long have we been talking about that on the stream? About JP Morgan and BNP Paribas manipulating the price of physical silver. I've been telling you guys that for months. So I'll give you a little secret into Wall Street. The reason why commodities traders do that at the investment banks, and the way they do it is very easy. It's via the derivative. So when you think about, when people talk about the price of silver, 9 times out of 10 they're talking about the paper. On Wall Street we call it the paper. It's called the paper derivative. So all you do is you flood the open market with more paper derivative silver or SLV to suppress the price. And that creates arbitrage opportunities for traders on trading desks, on big commodities trading desks. So even though JP Morgan has to pay a $100 million fine, I can guarantee they made a couple $1 billion doing that nefarious activity, or at least a couple $100 million. So it's all in the cost of doing business. So if JP Morgan, they already know before they manipulate the price of silver that they're commodities exchanges. They know that. So what happens is they try to steal as much as possible. They're like, okay, if we're gonna have to pay a $100 million fine, okay, let's steal at least 500 million, so at least it's worth it. It's been going on forever. Traders at JP Morgan do it. BNP Paribas is probably the worst offender, but I digress. Jay Trader, how are you? So everybody, here is Radio City Music Hall. We made it. We made it, everybody. Radio City. This is where the Rockettes play. And I would really enjoy, maybe I'll go here, maybe later this week. Better says, what apps do you recommend for beginning low volume stock investments? I would never suggest low volume stock investments. That's my answer. So low volume, are you talking about these are illiquid securities? Because I would stay away from any sort of illiquid security on the market, because 9 times out of 10 those are companies that have little to no earnings and no revenue. What you want to look for are companies that are compounding out their annualized growth rate by at least 25% on an EPS basis, as well as their revenues. So if you have a company that is growing their revenues at 25%, it's called compounded annualized growth rate, and doing the same thing with their earnings, you know, that is definitely what you want to look for. You don't want to be investing into illiquid securities, because if the company doesn't have any earnings, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be no big institutional sponsorship on Wall Street buying the name, right? And you want to make sure that the stocks that you're buying, all the big investment banks, all the big mutual funds are having positions in these companies, because these are high quality companies. I mean, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people get it confused and they think about a stock as just some lines on a chart. It's not. Stocks are companies at the end of the day. And what makes a profitable company is positive free cash flow, great EBITDA, good earnings per share. A company has to be in a very good and total expanding, total addressable market, or very large TAM. Those are the type of things you want to look for. Sunshine After Rain says cute candy canes. DN says Rockettes Christmas show, well worth it. Very high energy. I agree. I loved it when I went there. DN, good to see you. Elvis, what's up, Elvis? Elvis at Costco says, LMAO, you think stock price reflects company's health? Over the long term, it does. You can have arbitrage opportunities or disparities in the market, but over the long term, the price of the underlying stock will follow the earnings of the company. That's just the fact. But what you've had so far, and I think what you have ever since the 2008 financial crisis, is quantitative easing. And what I do believe is that quantitative easing has fundamentally changed investing. So you have a lot of high growth names doing exceedingly well, and that's because usually high growth names trade at very high multiples because interest rates are low. So if you think about all these growth stocks that are trading for 10 times sales, 20 times sales, 20 times earnings, the reason they can do that is because when you're running your models, your financial models on these growth companies, the majority of the earnings are actually selected to start on these companies, on these tech companies or these SaaS companies in the future. So when interest rates move up, those earnings are now worth less today. So that's why you see big sell-offs in growth names when the 10-year yield rises, relatively speaking. Hey, Bass Player 1981 says hello from Canada. Adrio Roberto says hello from Brazil. What's up, everybody from Brazil? Sunshine After Rain says, I want those in my front yard. Obama says Amazon never made money. So Amazon runs on a very high volume business, so their margins are extremely, extremely small. And that's why you see Amazon actually not trading at such a ridiculous multiple as some of the other SaaS companies. Hey, Pert Disciple 481 says, hi, New York City. What's going on? Sunshine After Rain says, Team SaaS, bro. So we'll take a walk around the Rockefeller Center. I'll give you guys one last look at the Radio City Music Hall Christmas tree here. Kiero 200 says good night. Thank you for joining, Kiero 200. I appreciate it. Elvis at Costco says AMZN. Amazon is a very good example. Charlie Richardson says, which platform do you use to write your newsletter? I use a platform that's integrated with Twitter. So I usually post the Behind the Street newsletter on the YouTube community page, but I believe we are only limited to 5,000 characters. That's why I switched over to the Twitter page. Hey, Joy is here, says beautiful. Ice says, Tom, when are you coming back to Miami? I should be back on Tuesday. Jose is here. What's up, Jose? Good to see you. Tom says, is the world ending? Alejo says, hello, can you say hello to Alejo Dorado? Is my son who is in Colombia. I would appreciate it very much. Greetings. Well, welcome everybody from Colombia. Hello to you, and thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Ice says, will you be back in New York before the year ends? Yeah, I'll be back for Christmas, the holidays. Shady92 says, hello from East Texas, New York City, looking good. Happy Thanksgiving. Shady92. Let's see if we can cross the street up here. You know, we'll go up and around. So we'll go to the corner of West 51st Street, and then we'll make a right, and I'll show everybody St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we'll see if the light display is up at the one and only Saks Fifth Avenue. So we'll see that. So this is the MLB store for anybody that likes baseball. So to the right is Neuberger Berman, and Neuberger Berman's a very big asset manager on Wall Street. My friend actually just accepted a job offer here, so it's right across the street from UBS. Neuberger Berman. Hey, John says, I think New York City is the prettiest this time of year by far. I agree. Is schedule buying partial stocks through Robinhood a good idea? Or is it better to save and buy it at once at a normal trading platform like Fidelity? What'd you say? Let me see. Oh, partial buying. So like buying fractional shares. So first off, I mean, in my opinion, I can't endorse the use of Robinhood. In my personal opinion, I can only speak from personal experience. I would never, ever use any of the discounted brokers like Robinhood, Webull. I would never use any of these. That's just in my opinion. That doesn't mean I'm right. I would just never put real money on those platforms. I personally use Interactive Brokers and Charles Schwab. I think that they're just more reputable institutions. But that is just my opinion. I use Interactive Brokers, IB, and Schwab. I just can't see myself ever putting a serious amount of money on Robinhood. I mean, that would just scare me. Raphael says snow in New York today. You know, there wasn't any snow today, but I will say yesterday it was snowing a little bit, a teeny tiny bit on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I saw it. A lot of people said it didn't, but I saw it. I was out in it. JK, good to see you. JK uses Interactive Brokers as well. Very cool. All right, so right in front of us we see the tree at Rockefeller Center, and you could also see the blue spire of the Empire State Building. Hector says hello from to see you. Jonathan Richards says cheers, New York. What's up, Jonathan? Check out this little Lego guy, it's kind of cool. Kevin Sunderland says, do you keep your Bitcoin on Gemiini Exchange, or do you keep them in your own hardware wallet? So Kevin, I'm a little crazy. I'm very, very old school, so I utilize something called a paper wallet. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I've just had it on there for a long, long, long time. But the exchange that I use is Gemiini. I do use Gemiini. And the reason for that is because I think the Winklevoss twins did a great job with regulatory compliance. At the end of the day, you do want something that is compliant with the regulators, in my opinion. Oh, so this is cool. So they closed off the entire street so people can walk and look at the tree without getting clocked by a car, which is very good. I'm glad they did that. Tony Swag is here. What's up, Tony Swag? Good to see you. Raphael says, I'm living in Brazil. Very cool. Brazil's a great place. So I think the ice skaters are gone because they are using the Zamboni to clean it. But this is the famous ice skating rink here at Rockefeller Center. Mr. Cold says, I was just making the Home Alone noise, says Mr. Cold. Ren 10 says, which crypto coins do you own, Tom? I only own Bitcoin and Ethereum. I do not partake in any of the other alternative coins. Tony Swag says, sup bro, I'm a pull upon the stream one of these days, respectfully. Looking forward to it. Sabrina Fair says, maybe I start. Funny. Jonathan Richards says, so there's a Jonathan Richards here tonight and a Jonathan Richards. Love Rockefeller Center. Very cool. Elvis at Costco says, no, it's not Brazil. Elvis at Costco, why are you so upset, man? What are you upset about? You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. What are you upset about? TR61 says, hello from Houston, Texas. Tom, can you please say hello to the new Thomas family in Chester, New York? What's going on, Thomas family in Chester, New York? Hope you're well. Johnny Doherty says, much better. This area was choked with cars during this session afternoon. Why Big Bang says, I'm from Brazil too. What's going on, everybody from Brazil? George says, could you show us Times Square? I'm not a big Times Square guy. I don't really like walking around that area, to be honest. I apologize. Maybe one day. Mr. Cold says, interesting, the Zamboni went around, but then in the middle. Samuel Ben, how are you? Elvis at Costco says, all I do is say the truth, bro. Sorry if it isn't congruent with your feel-good stream, LOL. Good point. I agree with that. Mr. Cold, what's going on? Better said says, do you like Mexican food, Tom? I work downtown near the stock exchange, and I always go to Los Tacos #1. I've never been there. Is that near the Dos Toros on... I'm trying to think of what street that is. Maiden Lane. I think there's a Dos Toros on Maiden Lane. But I've never been there as of yet. Samuel Ben says, which application do I use for crypto? I only use Gemini. Lay, this is, oh my God, not taco talk. So the best taco spot I've ever been to in New York is called Burrito Box, and it's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Bass Player 1981 says, just laying in bed watching. Interesting way you hit the hay. Very cool. Thank you for being here. So we'll take a little walk around. Melee says, wow, nice purple color. This is Melee. So if you look straight ahead, this is the St. Patrick's Cathedral. We'll walk up towards 5th Avenue. Marty Lewis's burrito box was closed tonight. Was it really? Let's see what Marty Lewis has to say. Burrito box was closed tonight. Also noticed it was closed Wednesday night. So I think it was the holiday. Maybe. Do I ever consider working in the media? I have a voice for radio. I always wanted to be a meteorologist, maybe on TV, but Pearl says, are they decorating the tree? I think they're having the tree lighting ceremony. What is that? December 10th, I believe. I'm not sure about 100%, but I believe it's right around there. Lay this burrito box may be a family business. I've been going there for years. It was phenomenal there. Great walks. Is it hard to get a temporary job in New York as a foreign person? I'm from Argentina and I'd love to go for a whole month. I don't think so. I think there's ample job opportunities in the city. Ed Dunkel says December 1st. Jonathan Richards says Tom has $1 million radio voice. I don't know about that, Jonathan. That's hilarious, though. Layda says, I could totally see Tom doing the weather, outraged by the cold, asking for assignments in Florida. That's true. That's hilarious. So I remember we had a viewer that used to work in this Cole Haan store right here. Cool Aunt 516 says the tree lighting is December 1st. Marty Lewis's burrito box usually looks very busy. It has been there for many years. Yeah, so when I used to go to college at John Jay, which was a couple blocks down, I used to go to burrito box on my lunch break with my buddies. What is this name of the church? The name is St. Patrick's Cathedral, and it is a very famous cathedral here in New York City on West 50th Street and 5th Avenue. Sarah G, how are you? Flat the Times, Tom, what do you think about the YouTube removing the dislike button counter? So I think it's a big mistake because especially if you're watching how-to videos, the number one thing that I look for to see if the video is of good quality is the ratio, right, of likes to dislikes. That's just because if I'm watching, how to change a tire or how to fix a leaky kitchen sink, I don't want to watch a video that everybody's giving it thumbs down. That's probably a sign that the video is a waste of my time. So I think it's very important to keep the dislike button on YouTube, in my opinion. Sabrina Ferris says a lot of uptight posters tonight. Sabrina Fair. Penelope says, I would love to hear you telling me about the clouds, the rain, and sunshine, and the skateboarding outlook for the day. Maybe we'll do it. So this is the Saks Fifth Avenue here. And this has by far the greatest light display in New York, in my opinion. Jose Rosario says, you are appreciated. Appreciate you. Sarah G is doing well, thank you. DN, good to see you. Ask Not says, God bless everyone this Christmas. Keep your eyes open. Don't be stupid places. Don't go to stupid places. Do stupid things at stupid times. Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you for the update. I can get behind that. Don't do stupid things at stupid times. So I'm not sure what time the light display is, but usually if you want to come visit here, this is on Saks Fifth Avenue. And this has the best light display in the city, in my opinion. Art Lee says, what a great city. What's up, Art? Good to see you. Masa says, have you seen an uptake in British tourists? I've seen an uptake in a lot of tours, which is very good. James Wang says, what do you think Bitcoin 100K hitting this year? I don't think this year, but I think it will get there over time. So this is looking uptown in 5th Avenue and West 50th Street. Rich Girl K says hello from Florida. Thanks for sharing, no problem. Good to have you here. DN says Diker Heights in Brooklyn has the best neighborhood Christmas lights. It's very impressive. I agree. They also have a lot of stuff for Halloween, I believe, too. But that is true. I've seen it. I've seen Diker Heights. Very beautiful. DN, you're 100% correct. Greetings from Germany. Welcome everybody from Germany. Germany is a great country. Great soccer players coming out of Germany too. So here we are at Rockefeller Center. Heather Sang says hello from Florence, Kentucky. Welcome from Kentucky. Hope you're well. Better Said says, Tom, do you drive in the city? It's say driving in the city at night when traffic is low is an amazing experience. So I don't drive, but I have been in the city at night while I was driving. But I usually don't drive. I'm not a big fan of driving. You forgot your mask, it helps you stay warm. That's true. George says, I see there are many people walking. What is the time? I'm not sure. Could anybody give us a quick time check in the chat if you don't mind? But I believe it's right around 11:15, I believe. Username says, do you drive in Florida? I don't drive in Florida either. I just take the bus. Okay, Sarah. 11:07. Okay. Florida, good to see you. British Gray. $11.07. Yeah, I have to get Hey, what's up, Paul? I see you. I have to get a watch so I can keep track of the time. But we'll see. All right, everybody, I'll leave it up to you guys. Should we do a quick walk up until Central Park and show you guys Plaza Hotel? Or do you want to head downtown and go to Koreatown before we end the stream? I'll let you guys decide. So please just drop it in the comments what you want to do. Hey, Troy 1995 is here. What's up, Troy? David says, the bus, you're a brave man. Yeah, I'm a big public transportation type of guy. I don't really like driving. Okay, everybody's saying Central Park. Troy 1995, good to see you as always. Thank you for joining the stream, Troy. I think this is a beautiful view right here. I don't know about you guys. Gonzalo Gonzalez is uptown. All right, we'll head uptown, everybody. We'll go to Central Park. I'm seeing a lot about it. You know, I could see those people spending 10 grand on it, but I mean, that's a little crazy, in my opinion. Jonathan Richards says Stevie Wonder's Superstition. All right, let's head uptown. So it looks like everybody's waiting for the light show to come on. I'm not sure what time it does come on, but maybe we'll see it on the way down. Better says Rolex are very good value retainers. Yeah, so I did hear that. A lot of people who collect like vintage watches or very expensive watches, supposedly the capital appreciation on those watches are pretty significant. So that is a good point. So here is the front of the one and only St. Patrick's Cathedral. Walks with RR. This is Rockefeller. Zachary Woods says Rolex is like a BMW of watches. Patek Philippe is like a Rolls Royce. AB says a Timex would tell you time. However, a Rolex will tell your time. Tell your time. Yeah, I'm just not a big watch guy. I mean, maybe I'll get a small, like $10 watch just so I could keep check of the time while we're streaming, but we'll see. Art leases only one watch. But everybody, we will have the 7th edition of the Behind the Street newsletter. It will be out tomorrow night, so you guys should receive an email of the Behind the Street newsletter. We write a free financial newsletter every week, so that should be in your inboxes tomorrow night at the conclusion of the day tomorrow on Sunday. So if you'd like to sign up for the Behind the Street newsletter, if you type !NEWS or news in the chat, you'll be able to receive the link to receive the newsletter. So this is the Cartier store right here. This usually has the best Christmas display in all of New York City. They usually have a big, what is it called? The Jaguar or something on the building. But this year, they essentially made the entire building into a big Christmas box. So pretty cool. So we'll cross the street because I want to show you guys this taxi. It's like a pretty cool Christmas decoration. They have it up every year. And it's coming up right on the right. I'll show you guys. Very cool. And here we are. So it's a New York City taxi. Horatio Snipes says Grand Central Terminal is a coffee hub. Lisa says Chasing Coral movie. Ah, so it's called the Christmas Cab. Very cool. All right, so we'll continue on our way. Did you stay in Sunny Isles? So no, I live in North Miami Beach. So Sunny Isles Beach is very, very close to my house. So I either just ride my bike to the beach or take the bus. Yeah, dropped client 2021. I agree with you. Heather Sang says, have you passed the Jewel Hotel yet? I'm not sure what that is. I'm honestly not sure what that is. Horatio Snipes says, Sabrina, whenever I'm in New York, I go to Grand Central Station Terminal first for coffee. .360 says, are you back and forth from Florida and New York? Yes. I split my time 50-50 between North Miami Beach, Sunny Isles Beach, and New York City. Benjamin Cornell says, hey Tom, was wondering your opinion on China buying back debt as they outsource food cultivation and blow money into struggling commodities markets. So are you referring to the Evergrande situation? You said wondering about, well, I mean, every country is doing that, right? There's no difference between the Bank of China stimulating and providing liquidity for their markets than the Federal Reserve doing the same thing in the U.S. equities markets by buying treasuries and buying mortgage-backed securities. But I think they're doing that to keep the Evergrande situation stable, which I think they will be successful in doing. I don't think we'll see any contagion in that. So I'll give you guys one last view of the Cartier building here at 52nd Street. Hey, Ibrahim Azam is here. What's up, Ibrahim? Good to see you. Joyce Carter says, Tom is a minimalist. It's good to stay warm during the holidays. QT Vex is over here in Queens. It looks like a ghost town. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, is Wall Street Escape Row. You are so gracious and patient to Elvis. Appreciate that. Genius 2X says, what do you think about Coca-Cola? Will they still be around in the next 20 years? I think they will still be around in the next 20 years. I think they will. But it's not going to trade at a very high PE ratio, Coca-Cola, because there's nothing exciting happening there. So this is some chocolate here at the Lindt store. Very cool. Caddy Roland 81 says, hey there from Detroit. No, that was not you. Yeah, Caddy Roland 81 says, hey there. Olaf from Detroit moved from New York City to the D and missed the city so much during the holidays. Thanks for doing this. No problem. That's why I'm spending money like you wouldn't believe. Every dollar in the bank gives me some wiggle room. Horatio Snipes is people buying Sam's Cola now. So here's, speaking of watches, here's a Rolex store here. Interesting. Well, it's beautiful in this Rolex store. Oh my, says, I recall several years back, Cartier had a big old tiara on the front of the building. Not sure how it got to stay up there, but it was impressive. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that. It does sound pretty cool. So everybody, my phone is on 10% battery, so it does look like the phone is going to die. So if the phone goes out, I appreciate everybody joining the stream tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a great Saturday, and I hope you have a great Sunday tomorrow to finish out the weekend. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. We try to go live 5 days a week from New York City and Miami. We talk about finance and technology and all that type of stuff. As we are outside of St. Thomas Church and the Microsoft Store. Aid Blessed is here. What's going on, Aid Blessed? Better Says has enjoyed the stream very much. Tom, have a good night. Thank you for being here. British Gray, thank you for being here. Ruby, appreciate it. We'll see if the phone can make it all the way up to, what's it called? The Plaza Hotel. We'll see. It is cold out tonight though, guys and girls. Very cold. 360 says, thank you for the stream tonight. AB says, love the stream and content. Def hitting a subscribe. Cheers. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We're happy to have you here on the stream. Hope you enjoyed. Santa Monica Rodriguez, good to see you as always. So hopefully we'll make it past the Trump Tower before the phone goes dead. We'll see. Ben Ashford says, thanks for your work. Look forward to receiving the newsletter. Yes, so that should be out tomorrow. Horatio Snipes says, I'm in a government chair watching your streams from work. You're awesome. Thank you, Horatio. Oh, everybody, this is the famous St. Regis Hotel right ahead of us. The famous St. Regis Hotel. Ryan says, thanks, Tom. See you in the next one. Appreciate it, Ryan. Always good to have you here. Oh, this is cool. This is a dreidel for Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah to all of those viewers who celebrate. Hey, Alexandria says, thanks so much, Tom. Have a great day. Appreciate it. Ahmed says, I wish I could visit New York. You got to come, Ahmed. Penelope from Tennessee. What is the weather like in Tennessee, Penelope? Horatio Snipes says, hello from Virginia, Tom. John J. alumni. Awesome. Charlie Richardson says, there's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. Absolutely. Agreed. Agreed 100%. So this is the Dolce & Gabbana store. Karina Thompson, always good to have you. All right, everybody, I think we're gonna make it. I think we may just be able to see the Plaza Hotel and then sign off. So bear with us. Yes, New York has a lot of scaffolding. So this is the main Trump Tower here. Obama says, remember Wall Street Week. See Unseen says, thanks for your stamina. No problem. and enjoying, Tom, rest of your weekend. Thank you. Goodbye from Cape Town, South Africa. Ahmed is going to one of the stores, Tom. I think everything is closed. So everybody, we are now at East 57th Street and 5th Avenue. This is Billionaires Row in Manhattan. So I'll try to show you some of the big Billionaire Row apartment buildings. So these two, this is 157 and this is the Steinway building here in New York on Billionaires Row. Yeah, Latho, remember that guy? That guy was crazy. So if you look to your right, this is the Louis Vuitton store on East 57th Street. Ooh, guys, I really hope the phone stays and it doesn't go out. There's a massive menorah here that I want to show you guys. They always set it up every single year outside the Plaza Hotel. So hopefully the phone stays intact so I could show you guys. I think I'm on 3% battery, but 3% is just enough to get us across the street. Here we are, the Plaza Hotel. We made it. So if you look straight ahead, this is the famous Plaza Hotel that was in the Home Alone movie right here. And if you look to your screen, this big gold top tower is 220 Central Park South. And hedge fund billionaire that owns Citadel Securities actually bought the entire penthouse floor for $100 million, I believe, or more. And his name is Ken Griffin. Citadel Securities. All right, we got the light, we made it. So we are right here at the Plaza Hotel. Guys, we made it. Give the video a big thumbs up. We made it without the phone dying. So that's good. So they always set this up every year for Hanukkah. And it looks like they're just putting it up. It looks great. Sabrina says the battery is holding up. And we are right outside the famous Plaza Hotel. Cynthia Martinez is also from Miami. Good to see you.